If you've been dealing with an injury, then the last thing that you should probably be doing is just completely stopping your training. Now, you might be doing this because you've been told to do this by healthcare providers in the past, or because it seems like the right thing to do, but in most cases, it's actually the last thing that you should be doing, and today we're going to tell you why. At any one point in time, your body has a certain amount of physical stress that it can handle without things going poorly or getting injured. This is kind of shown by this threshold right here, and that will go up or down over time based upon a number of things such as sleep, nutrition, life and emotional stress, and largely your chronic training history. Now, in an ideal world, you'll be going through your day-to-day life and training in a manner that you're staying just at or above this threshold, or occasionally going over it for short periods of times and not too significantly. Now, what we see very often with injuries is there's one of two very common situations. The first is that you'll have a sudden stressor well above your current threshold, and that will result in an acute injury where you'll notice it right away and you've known that you become injured. The second scenario is that you'll be going up over time and then you'll pass that threshold but just stay there a little bit too long and not recover back down. This situation will result in an injury that doesn't happen suddenly. You don't know that you become injured all of a sudden, but you'll start to notice an ache or pain creep up over time. Now, what happens is when you do get injured, and if you stop your training too significantly or for too long a period of time, this threshold is actually going to lower down over time so that, let's say you're now down here compared to being up here before. And this happens for the same reason that you lose strength when you stop lifting at the gym. If you've been going to the gym for a while, you're building up your strength over time, but if you step out of the gym for 1, 2, 3 months, then you're going to notice that your strength starts to decrease, and this same thing happens with your physical activity threshold or your physical stress threshold. Now, the issue is that by the time this has happened, most people have rested the area completely or for long enough so it's actually feeling better, but it's mainly feeling better because you're not stressing that area anymore, and you haven't actually let it build up strength or tolerance to what you actually have to do on a day-to-day basis or during your training. So by now, you start to feel pretty good, and you say, okay, I can start getting back to the gym, like this injury is kind of under control, not really having any pain anymore. So what happens is you again start to go back into the gym, start increasing up, and then you hit a point that before you could hit that level or that weight or that volume for no problem, but now it's above that new threshold, so you become injured again or you have a flare-up of your pain. And this really starts kind of like the vicious cycle that we see with a lot of our lifters and a lot of our clients, where you get an initial injury, you take a lot of time off from the gym, so you feel better, you start to go back into the gym, and then you notice a flare-up of your injury or pain pretty quickly, and it just continues to spiral downwards until you can barely do any of the training that you want to do or that you were doing before. So the key to avoiding this is to continue training while you're going through the rehab process, but to do so in a way that doesn't set you too far above that threshold and flare you up, or too far below that threshold and not actually get you the outcomes or results from training that you want. So you have to modify things like tempo, range of motion, volume, implement exercise variation. All those things can be modified in a way that keeps you training throughout the rehab process, moving the needle forward and avoiding this sort of situation, and ultimately getting you back to the gym more completely and in a more time-effective manner. This is what we do with our clients day in and day out at Barbell Physical Therapy and Performance. So if you're an injured lifter looking for help like this to stay in the gym while solving an injury, click the link below to schedule a completely free phone consult with one of our team members to see if we're the right fit to help you out.